You gonna be in the chat?
Try to be.
Liam's here.
We're here. We're all here. Liam made it just in the nick of time. He joined while the countdown intro music was starting. But here we are. It's episode 29 live, the Coin Jam podcast, a very special episode of the Coin Jam podcast for a variety of reasons. As you can see, we are joined by Josh, the better half of the Canadian Arcade, live from, it looks like you guys moved in. Are you at the Sunnyvale Trailer Park in Nova Scotia? Or you guys are shacking up together now?
We kill each other in about 20 minutes.
You boyfriend and boyfriend.
Yeah.
No. My wife
Josh,
is jealous.
We got a nice couch.
What
couch
does Josh
back
think of
there.
the beard you grew?
The beard I grew?
Yeah, look at that.
That a casting
It's
couch?
not
or-
It's not a playoff beard, as far as I'm concerned. I don't know this has got to go. I've been posting stuff on social media, and I've been posting stuff
brand.
on. It's off brand. but what also is off brand is the fact that my hair is like I've almost got a mullet going. So
hockey hair.
Hair reveal, right? So this will go soon, hopefully. If I have a moment, we've been here on the Calgary Stampede grounds for the last 3 days, and we've been working on this project for the last 4 months. So in the last probably 2 weeks. Oh, this is Dan Horn. He's the owner of Nitro Pinball Calgary. He's going to be coming in and out getting tools because we got some of
Everybody say hi, Dan.
You say hi, Dan.
Say hi, Dan.
Hi,
Wait.
Dan.
That's Dan. Get out of here. Go, Dan. Dan, I only have one webcam. I don't want you to break it. That would ship would already sell. So we've been working here like probably 16-hour days straight. I've been
the last 3 days or so.
Yeah, it's 7:03 p.m. So anytime I show up here, it's too early in the morning to go get a haircut. And anytime I leave, everything's already closed. So kind of fighting with the business hours at this point.
All right. We're going to hear a lot from Chance and Josh about the 8-bit roundup in just a moment. But speaking of something that's on brand, we got Kay blasting bare arms as always, showing off the flexing for us. Look at that. That's why we have such a large female audience. What's going on, Kay?
Not a whole lot.
Okay. And Liam, why were you late?
I was booting my computer.
There you go. It's a good reason.
Docking your pay.
Good reason.
I had to return some videotapes.
Yeah. Let's take a look at what's going on in the live chat here. We got Encore's Arcade, Dominic M, General Strife Extras. I don't know what Extras is all about. Is that your alt? Joel Strahan, Josh O.D. Brown, who's also on camera. Overtime Arcade channel member Wayne, and Arcade Alex channel member. Chance is somehow channel member 2, as is Kay. Metropolis is here. Overtime Arcade channel member and live chat moderator. Dell's Arcade in the house. And Mike of All Trades. What's going on, dude? All right. I think I got everybody. So, like I said, we're going to do things a little bit differently. We only have Josh and Chance for an hour. So usually we do like updates and blah, blah, blah. That gives us a chance for people to see the notification that we've gone live and kind of trickle in. But instead of doing that, we're going to flip it around and do the main theme first. And then if we can keep Josh and Chance around as long as they can, they'll give us if there's non-8-bit roundup updates from their lives. And then we'll talk with me and Liam and Kay about everything else that's going on, answering all of your questions, keeping you entertained all night long. So without further ado, why don't you guys, for those in our audience who have missed when you've been talking about this in our previous episodes, what is 8-bit roundup? What are you guys doing? Where are you? What's going on? What brought you to this point in your lives?
Okay, so 8-bit roundup. Let's start from the beginning. Sorry, if I'm going to my phone quite a bit, it's because I've got a lot of people talking, doing the thing.
Send them to the live chat.
Yeah. Well, it's my wife mainly. She's having a technical problem at home with the projector, so she's texting me on how to fix it really quickly. So, long story short, there's been this event in Calgary, Alberta called the Calgary Stampede for over 100 years. It's touted as the greatest outdoor show on earth. It's a rodeo market. It's massive parade, everything. It's a 10-day long event. and it's a big tourism draw for us. We normally have about 1.4, 1.6 million people every year visit Calgary for that, which is cool because our city is only like 1.2 million by itself, I think.
Yeah,
something
we're a
like
little
that.
bit higher now. We're like 1.5 million.
Yeah,
But
so it doubles the size of our city essentially. So we're in southern Alberta. Some people have seen it. If you've ever watched Parks and Rec, they actually used a shot of the Calgary Stampede Midway when it was all packed as B-roll for one of their episodes for their little Pawnucky or whatever the heck the town's called, their little market thing. But yeah, you can look it up later after you're done watching the episode, the Calgary Stampede. It's a massive, massive event. So now how we got here is actually a little surprising. My wife actually works for the Calgary Stampede. She started this year, and she's in charge of the market hall and a couple of the other venues here, a lot of the activations and all of the vendors that come in. So one of the big things here is the market hall. There's hundreds of vendors here selling all kinds of stuff from all the way from like late night television stuff all the way up to high-end clothing and stuff that you normally couldn't get in Calgary. It brings in tourism from everywhere. And a couple of months ago, 4 or 5 months ago, my wife, she 3 or 4 weeks into the job, got dragged into a meeting with another vendor. They had asked to bring some kind of an arcade down into the space that we're in. This building is called the Big Lower Four. It's just one of the massive market halls in the area.
So are you underground?
Oh, no, we're on the split level, kind of. We're like half underground. This building actually, I think, holds the world record for the world's largest curling rink.
That's right.
Yeah, it was built like in the 50s. It is a massive hall. And now there used to be a casino on the top floor, and then down here used to be like big activations and a food hall and all that stuff. And now we have a concert venue upstairs, and the whole upstairs side of the building. And then they wanted to bring more people down to the premium food vendors. So they were looking for some kind of a cool, fun activation to do in the space. And so my wife starts with this company and with Calgary Stampede organization. And a couple of weeks in, she's in this meeting where they're chatting about bringing in an arcade. And they did an interview with, I think, a couple other vendors in the area, some larger known vendors. And she started asking really pointed questions about coin drop versus free play and all this kind of stuff. And I don't know if they could really answer it, but afterwards her boss was like, "How do you know all this?" And she's like, "Well,
I'm married to an idiot."
Exactly, right? A big one. So anyway, so we, ball got rolling. We started talking to the Calgary Stampede, and some of our other friends that run big arcades in Western Canada, they even turned them down. And they were like, you know what, juice might not be worth the squeeze, or I don't think I can get the games together. And then Josh and I, same thing with The Last of Us and all the film stuff that we do. We don't know that there's ever a bar set. So we just kind of poked around with some of our friends and said, hey, Nitro Pinball, Retro Oasis, some of our other collector friends in town that have pinball machines and arcade games. Would you guys be willing, if we got some budget and we got some stuff together and we put on a 2,000 square foot arcade for the 10 days of the Calgary Stampede, would you guys be willing to go in on this with us and provide this experience that we want to create? And from like the moment one, it's been a resounding, absolutely, we want to be a part of it. The whole big thing behind this was, other than trying to make my wife look good at work, it was, how do we control the narrative of what a classic arcade still is these days? Because let's be honest, it's
just nobody else in town doing anything.
No,
like
it's
that.
redemption machines and tickets on the swipe card, and you get a slap bracelet with their business name on it so they can get a tax rate. Anyway, it's something that we wanted to do with real CRTs, real pinball machines, real coins, and do the thing. So that's where we are, and we're 5 days out, July 3rd to the 13th. So, yeah.
So we'll talk about the scale here. How many machines do you have? How many video games? How many pins? Sorry, drink your
in a minute,
A&W or whatever it is.
No, all good. In a minute, we'll actually take a walk through the space. So, like I said, for 2,000 square feet, so it's about roughly 30 feet by 60 feet of space.
Good size.
You can spill outside of it a little bit too. Like, we're not confined to that exact 2,000. Like, we're you know, we can use the outer walls and people can be on the outside facing games. So
yeah, we really have a captive audience here too. Like right next to us is a big queuing area for the concert venue upstairs. And on the other side of us is the rest of the building. On the lower floor is a giant food market hall with like a bunch of different food vendors. So we're kind of like smack right in the middle of it. And so to answer your question on games, originally they wanted 20 games. And I did a quick rendering in SketchUp, and I was like, okay, this is what 20 games looks like in that floor
Yeah,
space.
that'd be a lot of empty floor space.
Yeah. I'm like, would be plenty of room for activities, but they were
1,000
like,
square
that's not
feet per game.
Yeah, 2,000
exactly.
2,000 square feet is half my warehouse. I can
100
fit a
square
lot
feet.
more than 20 games in my warehouse.
Right. We got to do a tour of your warehouse next time. That's what we should do on one of the next episodes. Is a tour of Kay's warehouse.
I got 20
It's
games
just
this
a lot
room.
of dust and busted machines, but okay.
Right. So anyway, so we'll tour the space in a minute, but we figured it out between all of our friends and the collectors and everything. Josh and I only had to bring in a couple of games ourselves, and the only reason we did that is because we're doing a contest with one of the big radio stations in the city. So we'll talk about that a little bit more because we're going to walk by and take a look at where that's going to be. But we are now up to 42 pinball machines and 41 arcade games.
Impressive.
It's basically 3 arcade collectors and a mix of nitro pinballs, brand new out of the box showroom pinball machines, and another couple of good friends of ours in town, Wes and Cam, who have a bunch of pinball machines that they put on location here in the city. So we're up to 83, I think.
Yeah, 83s.
Yeah, I think it was your last count. We brought 7 more pins in today, so.
All Mandalorians, right? Because that's
All
what you showed us
Mandalorians.
in the rendering was all Mandalorians.
Yeah, so if you're a member of the channel and you're part of the members only Discord, you will see that I've been putting updates over the course of the last couple of months. And the moment I got the renderings done, or while I was making the renderings, I broke SketchUp, their little web application, and I kind of ran out of the ability to add more assets. So all the pinball machines got represented by. Here, I got some drawings here. All the pinball machines got represented by Mandalorian pins. So yeah, this is, I don't know if you can really see it. This is the trailer right here that we're in. I can link these. We're going to have a large pinball tournament area that we're going to do 3 large pinball tournaments, because that was the other thing too. We wanted to draw attention to the pinball leagues that we have in town, because I mean, if we're going to put something like this on, man, I'd be remiss if we didn't give them the space for a few events. So we still have that open. So if you're in the area too, you can still sign up to be in the tournament. So here's what we really care about. Here are the arcade games and the trailer. This one doesn't show any of the truss or the artwork or anything that we've got going. But when we get out there, we'll point the camera down and we'll kind of show you what we got going.
So how does it work? Are these games on coins or free play, or how does it work?
Quarters and loonies. So predominantly in Canada, after a period of time, a lot of operators started asking for a dollar coin, what we call a loonie here in Canada. So it's a bit of mix. Most of the pinball machines are on.
Yep, pretty much every pinball machine except for
Loonies
small
and
DMs
toonies.
or use the $1 coin, and then
Why don't you field some questions?
Yeah, I mean the arcade too. Like we kind of looked at it, and a lot of the collector guys we're buddies with. They had most of their games on quarter, and to upgrade them to loonie. I mean, obviously, I think people would absolutely stick a $1 coin in to play games at the Stampede. Everything tends to be sort of premium priced, so we found that just the overhead to get these things updated to $1 mix over the course of the few months, it was going to be a big expense.
Like $4,000, I think it was, to replace all the
We
mix.
decided to just leave it at quarters for this, and we've got enough pinball that we think that'll bring in like quite a bit by itself. So
yeah, we've probably got about, I don't know, 200 quarter mechs.
yeah, we
150, 200 quarter mechs. So we basically collected all the old school beige quarter mechs from every single machine we could find amongst all of us. And then we had some friends out in Eastern Canada, Barcadia and Kingston. They donated to the cause, and they sent us a big box of mechs as well. We've got this thing with Canada Post. If it fits, it ships. I think you guys have something similar down there. And so, Robbie just shoved every mech he could into this box and like ballooned it up.
Reach shipping or whatever.
So then we basically took them and cleaned them all up in the ultrasonic and let them dry out on my kitchen counter over the course of 3 months.
Wayne was asking where you buy Looney mechs in Canada, but my question sort of is a related one. Are there Looney mechs that are just standard drop a coin through mech, or like I've seen Looney mechs that are powered that require like
We've got
the 5 volts or
ones.
what.
We've got a bunch here. Now a lot of time your arcade game might need to be modified. If the slot on the front would be extended to allow that coin to fit through because it is a millimeter or two bigger.
So hold on. This is the classic, beige mech that y'all have seen. Really standard. The metal varieties, that kind of stuff. Imanex makes these nice little black mechs, and they make. This is my favorite. If you're ever gonna be an operator, if you ever want to be an operator, whether it's an American coin or a Canadian coin, these Imanex mechs are like, I would be swearing right now, but these things are absolutely phenomenal. The jam rate on these versus, let's say, like your standard hat mech that you would pull out of a modern day coin door, these things are garbage. These things are absolutely phenomenal.
I second that.
You just buy them, right? And you know what, Kay? These guys are in Texas.
Yeah, those were standard in the majority of the games that I dealt with at Chucky.
They're not cheap. I think Canadian dollars are about $40 a mech, so it's like $5 American. But yeah,
yikes!
They're a little more now.
Yeah, so that's what we were thinking. It's like to replace 40 games worth of mechs, and a quarter of those games are 4-player.
Two mechs per game. So 80 mechs and
plus
440.
Yeah,
it adds up pretty big expense. But we have a few arcade.
And you got change machines. How you handling that?
We'll show you that in a minute because that's something that we're really proud of.
What are you doing to prevent all of these greasy children who are stuffing, pizza and grilled cheese and fried dough, or maybe they call it something else in Canada, fried dough. They got powdered sugar and everything, and they got poutine running down their chin, and they're just slobbering all over your beautiful games. What are you doing to stop that?
Bouncers with tranquilizer guns.
Because you're in the food hall, the food court.
Yeah, no. So that's security and the health and well-being of the games is pretty paramount to us. We're
not the health and well-being of your customers. It's the game.
No, but like
F them kids.
Like Josh and I are operators by ourselves with Pinbar, right?
Mm-hmm.
And actually one of our big arcade owners that's contributed to this is Retro Oasis escape room and arcade in Okotoks, which is a small town just south of Calgary. And Retro Oasis has dozens of games on location, and they're used to it. They're used to people coming in and playing their stuff in public. Craig Learmont, one of our other collectors, and Jeff Atwood. Jeff Atwood is actually also the co-owner of White North Retro with me. We make those Data East pinball things, and we're hopefully one day we're going to release that test pattern generator, which I have one here. We've been using it.
Cool, send it here.
Sorry? Hold on.
I said, cool, send it here.
Hold on.
Get like this special nuke key box.
Yeah. You got to unlock. You got to turn the key at the same time. So that's our test pattern generator. That
it looks very flashy, but it's in that box with you there instead of here with me where I can use it.
Yeah, we can send you.
Don't you have to change the branding on that too?
No, it's just a Game Boy shell. We developed it so that you can put it in whatever Game Boy shell you wanted. So if you want whatever Game Boy buttons, whatever, it fits a standard DMG shell, man.
Do the buttons do anything?
Yes.
Yeah. It's an on-screen display. It's a fully interactive. Like it's not like you just plug it in and you press dip switches. This thing. Yeah, and you can put your own patterns and the buttons and everything. Yeah, it's got a full help menu in it to teach you how to use all the different patterns. It's got Wi-Fi updatable. It's based on an ESP32, so it's pretty powerful. Jeff is a brilliant human being. We're pretty proud.
Yeah, we use ESP32s at work sometimes for prototyping, and I was at Arcade Jason's house for the first time last weekend last Friday, and his new pole position clone board uses the ESP32.
Yeah, that's cool.
Someone in the chat asked, "Can I put it in a Game Gear shell?"
Like kids
No,
with sticky hands. And
no. Nintendo does what Game Gear doesn't, or whatever.
What about a Neo Geo Pocket?
No.
No, they'll make a medium res TPG that'll fit in the Game Gear shell.
It does medium res.
And a vector TPG, something.
Oh yeah, I guess we could do vector in like some kind of like an Atari Lynx or something. I think that'd be cool.
I actually have one of Arcade Jason's vector TPGs.
Those are really cool. I don't know why we would want to reinvent that wheel. I think he's done a really good job with that. So
black and white
seem
only.
To be pretty.
Yeah.
No, it does color. It supports all vector monitors, 6400 and the G08 Cosmic Chasm monitor included. I've used it on the black and white vectors. I've used it on the 6100, and I used it on a G08. It did okay. I mean, it doesn't really have like the position adjustments and size adjustments you would expect, but it does okay to show that you can get an image on a monitor. With the case of my G08, it was slightly off center, so it wasn't working that great with the G08, but it worked well enough for me to verify that the monitor was functional. So for that, I appreciated it.
Mm-hmm.
But does it come in any classic portable video game shell?
No.
Liam, you're on my list of people to get one of these two. I'm serious.
Awesome.
Like we Jeff and I really want
not me and Kay. Me and Kay
release that.
No. I trust you and Kay, but like Liam is exponentially smarter than the three of us put together when it comes to this stuff.
I'm not doubting that, but
sure. But what would I ever need a test pattern generator for? I never worked on monitors.
Your average customer is going to be more like us, right?
Yeah.
So you need to make sure it's foolproof.
Yeah, it uses Crafty's pinout, and there's some other really cool things in there too. It takes AA batteries, and we're looking at doing a lithium-ion mod for it and a flashlight mod because like it's a pin in the butt when you're back there in the dark. And you just want to.
Yeah, you need to send it to me to see what a moron would do with it.
How about AC adapter?
Oh, trust me, we've already done that.
I want to plug it into a wall.
Anyway, enough of this. This is not ready yet. Yeah, you can.
Can I plug it into the wall?
Yeah, it's got constant power. Right?
Can it still play Game Boy games?
Nice.
No.
Oh, well.
No. Enough of this.
Okay, so give us the tour for crying out loud. Show us the Roundup.
Show us the Roundup so that people who listen to this, the audio version later, get nothing out of this part.
Inline.
Oh yeah.
Are you dragging an HDMI cord around this place and tripping?
No. This is my MacBook Air. So, full disclosure. So, we moved in here
Friday night,
yeah,
and then a bunch yesterday too.
Yeah. So we over the course of the last few days, we've been kind of pulling things in. Today was our day to get power, some of our truss, some of our artwork, and our internet connection, which is why we're live with you guys right now. This is I like this 1 gigabyte up.
So you guys aren't open yet. You don't have
no
crowds.
Yeah, no. Thursday. Calgary Stampede will be the 3rd to the 13th. So let's go to the far end and we'll start out there. So just to give you guys an idea of the space, I don't know, Charlie, if you want to make this full screen. Oh, I guess we're on the Wi-Fi here, so we don't want to go. So this is the food hall. This is the lower part of the lower big four. Okay, this
high-end local cuisine like a Subway. Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Tasty
a Subway
Calgary.
here. There's Pierogi Boys, there's Viet Grill, it's like a contrast to like Midway food that you would normally get, like deep fried pickles and scorpions and all that stuff. The Calgary Stampede is really known for like crazy food. They have this big,
like your Texas the state fair or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. It's similar to that.
Fried butter or whatever.
Yeah, deep fried butter.
Yeah, we don't fry scorpions at our fairs, but okay.
No, we've actually had like scorpion pizza here. Yeah. How do I frame Josh? Yeah.
It's like $40.
Now we have had the Scorpions play at the fair.
Oh yeah, well that's it. We're gonna have Scorpions playing on our PA system. Okay, so we'll start on the outside of the space so you can kind of see it. So this is roughly 2,000 square feet. So you can see there's these big red and beige pillars. We're going to be wrapping those with some big 16-foot by 4-foot tall banners. Is that framed up nice? Yeah, that's good.
Made it full screen.
You good? Okay, cool. So we're going to be wrapping those with banners tomorrow. The art's done. And then we've got some truss up here, and we've got some truss over there just at working height for right now, because we've got to mount a bunch of Craig's speakers on there. Craig Learmont is another one of our collectors. He's actually working on a Donkey Kong Jr. right now. So we're going to mount some speakers on there. We're going to mount a bunch of artwork, and then we'll show you some other cool stuff with the artwork in a minute. So the games, I wonder if we can make it, we'll look at this first. So across from our space, so there's just a big walkway down here. Across from our space, we're putting two Ms. Pac-Man cabinets. So this is the one that I picked up a few months ago, and Josh is going to put his just to the right of that.
Oh my God, it's your favorite game.
Right? That's great. We've got a big Nitro pinball banner here, and XL 103 is, I guess, the biggest radio station in the city. 70s classic rock, that kind of thing. Yep. They're going to be broadcasting live for a few of the days of the Stampede, so we're going to be putting them there. We've worked on a competition with them, with Craig. So Craig Learmont is also like a 750, 800,000 point Ms. Pac-Man player. And so we basically set it up where this one, Craig, in the next day or two before we open, is going to go put up a really big high score on this Ms. Pac-Man, and then a moderately decent high score on the one that we'll have next to it. And then you're encouraged when you're here at the Calgary Stampede to try and beat his score. And if you do beat it, there'll be a QR code where you can scan it and enter into a draw for some prizes. So there's that. So yeah, some of the pins aren't set up yet, but this is the last run of pins that have come in today. I don't know if we're going to be able to go through all of the games. You guys still see that okay?
Yeah, we can see it. Just
okay.
Go easy with the spinning. We're some people are getting motion sick out here.
Okay, we'll try and go slow. So
oh my God, it's not like you guys are professionals or anything.
No. I you know what? If I would have thought ahead, I would have brought a different camera and we could have just gone shot for shot. So anyway, so we're just in this little staging area right now. This is where we've got all the games kind of set up, and we're just kind of making sure that everything gets what we call blessed. We want to make sure that everyone who comes to this space has a good experience. And, you know, we're going to have the odd coin mech that you're going to put the quarter in, and it's going to spit it out. But for the most part, we want to make sure that when you put a quarter in or you put a loonie in, you're going to get your play. And so we'll go look at the change machine in a second. But right now, while we've got a few more days before we move everything over there into the actual space with the layout, we want to just kind of just fix everything the last little bit. That has to happen. And that's why Dan is way over there in the distance working on some of the pins. And Craig is over on the floor there working on his Donkey Kong Jr. So, yeah. Any questions so far, Charlie?
No, I keep having to change your mic settings because you keep moving your face away from the mic.
I'm so sorry.
What highlights do we have here in the pinball section?
Highlights? Oh,
yeah.
Ooh, there's a Rocky and Bullwinkle right here. There's that.
That's his favorite game.
That's my favorite game.
That's a highlight.
There's a multi-morphic around here. There's a break shot.
What's on it?
I think he's got like everything.
He's the whole thing.
He brought like
Get Portal going.
Portal? Noted.
Yeah.
That's the one. We're not going to have that in the tournament, but that's going to be there.
Can I say something? I think your MacBook mic is what's picking you up and not the
okay. Hold on. How about this, Josh? You're going to hate this, but I'm going to change my settings. So the audio is the mic is. Can you hear me now better?
Much better. Yeah.
How's that? Does that sound good?
That sounds
okay.
Good.
What about now? Oh, okay.
Good.
All right. I'll keep giving the tour, and then when we'll sit back down, we'll talk. We'll fix the thing on there. So, TNA, Total Nuclear. I love this game. I just wish it held up better on location. Pinballs
timely, also.
Right? Except for
Too
that
soon.
one shot in the back corner. Too soon. What else we got? We got a Star Trek here. What is this, a Pro, Josh, or a Premium? That's a pro. Star Trek Pro. World Cup Soccer, Riverboat Gambler, which is a great
World
game.
Cup Soccer is an awesome game. I'm not a big fan of soccer, but that's an awesome pin.
Yeah. And there's a lot of those in Calgary too, which is really nice. Trying to get through this. There's a couple of older games too. What is this? Bali Evil Knievel? This isn't the EM. This is the solid state. Yeah. There's a couple of Pulp Fictions. We have 2 different Pulp Fictions. And we've got Sharky Shootout, which I'm a fan of. A lot of the pool games are really good. Sorry if this is giving anybody motion sickness. Oh yeah, there's a Ninja Eclipse here. That's a new game. That's really cool. Turner Pinball.
I don't think I've even heard of that.
Oh, it's good. It's good. The art is really, really nice on it.
Is that
Super
is
Chucks,
Turner Pinball a new manufacturer?
fairly new? Yeah. And then I don't know if we go through the rows with the arcade games. It's kind of tight to get in here. Some of them are a little worse for wear.
Stern parts.
Oh, is it? Oh, it might be.
It looks like a Stern machine.
So some of your classics. So we got we'll rapid fire through here. Some of these games are a little worse for wear. We've cleaned them up the best we can, just scrounged where we can. A lot of people didn't want to put a lot of showroom games on there, but sometimes we did. Just depends on what game it was and how important it was to have it. Mortal Kombat, that's Craig's. That's gorgeous, fully rebuilt, brand new cabinet Mortal Kombat. Killer Instinct. There is a Mortal. Yeah, there's a Mortal Kombat over there. I was looking at the Mortal Kombat.
He rebuilt it wrong.
You were looking at the Mortal Kombat through all those games?
There's a Mortal Kombat. Like it's like 20 feet from me. There's a Dig Dug. What do we got? Akari Warriors. We've got Captain America, Sunset Riders. We have 4 Ms. Pac-Mans here. So we've got this one from Steve. We've got the 2 that we brought, and Craig's got a reunion cabinet. We'll see in a second. Was this a Taito 1942 in a Taito cabinet? There's a Z-Back Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition, Simpsons, Asteroids. There's Galaga, Karate Champ in a Super Pack cabinet, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, a WrestleFest in what I think is a. Is it a jet? No, that's too narrow to be a Joust. Like that's a Bubbles.
It would be a Moon
it's a Moon Patrol. That's a Moon Patrol. Yeah. That's way too narrow. Stern Berserk. Craig and I just mostly restored this thing not long ago. There's his Namco reunion cabinet. He's got a 25-inch monitor in there. This was an old beat-up Ms. Pac-Man cabinet that he converted and put the art kit on. There's Pac-Man. There's Off-Road. You looking for the paint, Josh? Yeah. There's one of the things that we have here in Alberta. There was an operator back in the 80s who made scratch-built replicas of a lot of the games out there. We call them John's games. They're John's vending clones, and he did some really nice cocktails. This one has a Frogger in it. Off-road,
legit or bootleg?
Oh, it's a legit Frogger inside the cabinet. John just did that. He would build really nice cabinets in his wood shop there. This is the guy that I got we've talked about him quite a bit. He's the guy I bought the Eldorado pin off of. I've actually sold that to Dan recently. Rampage. There's a Tempest back there. Ballsy
you're
to have
running,
a Tempest.
You're running Vectors?
Oh, dude, we're running Vectors. We're running Vectors. Didn't you see the Asteroids a minute ago?
You got fire insurance?
We're fire insurance. We're good. Yeah, right. With $5 million of insurance. Is it 5, 10? Yeah, there's like $500,000 in games here, I think. Canadian. Just about, yeah. Mario Brothers. Craig's like brand new spec Donkey Kong, which is amazing. Here's the Mortal Kombat I was looking at. There's Junior in the back. There's the Space Invaders. There's a Wizard of War. There's an HS9 cabinet with Silkworm. The X-Men that I've been working on. Thanks again to anyone in the Discord that's been helping me with that. And where are we here? Neo Geo MVS 2-slot cabinet. Gorf. Marble Madness. We just need side art for this Marble Madness. We got to clean that up a little bit and still get that done. There is a gorgeous Paperboy here. This thing is like mint.
With Rich's artwork.
What do we got? With Rich's artwork, yeah. Gauntlet, a Dan Horn. Thanks, Dan. Okay, this has been hotly contested. Here's an HS9. How do you pronounce the name of that game, Liam?
Raiden.
Raiden.
Raiden. 3 against 1. Raiden. We've got a Tapper cocktail. We've got a jump bug cocktail. Now this thing's like basically new. There's like, I think like 300 plays on it, 200, 300 plays. We've got a Pioneer balloon. I think Dillweed wanted this, didn't he?
Yeah, I could hear Dillweed heavy breathing in the background looking at these games.
Yeah.
He's squealing.
Take my money. Yeah. We've got a Warp. That thing, all of these Rockola games are like near mint. Dan actually just brought them in at Nitro Pinball not long ago, and they were his landlords. And Dan brought them in, and they have like only a few hundred plays on some of them. Some of them less than 700 plays on them. 177? Oh yeah. 77 on the Pioneer or the Warp, I think it was. Armor Attack, yeah.
Rockola
Armor Attack. Yeah, the Rockwell Armor Attack and the Star Castle. What's next here? I want this Armor Attack so bad.
Is that Rockola Star Castle?
Yeah, that's Rockola Star Castle. So this is the exact same one that I had in my garage that I gave the cabinet to Craig a few months ago, and then this one popped up into your garage. Thank you. Yeah, this one's brand new. This one's basically mint, which is awesome. These monitors are fully rebuilt by our friends Adam and Al, local collectors in the area. And then PGA Tour Golf Championship. I got to say, and Kay, maybe you can back me up on this because I know you've had probably, I think, 1 or 2 of these in your past.
I have.
Right? Yeah.
How many
the
bits
call
is that
outs
game?
on this
Is that
game,
8 bits?
No, but I don't care. We're having at least 1 golf game here. We almost had a Golden Tee, but I don't think it might not be ready in time.
You don't like Neo Turf Masters? You had a MVS over there.
Well, that's the thing. We've got a couple MVS. We've got an MVS 1 slot, and we've got that MVS 2 slot, and we've got a stack of MVS games. We're just going to rotate throughout the event. So I think Turf Masters is one of the cartridges, but I mean, this out of all the golf games out there, hot take, I think this has some of the best funny callouts when you screw up on your drive.
The best of a pile of crap is still
a pile of crap. But anyway, okay, so moving on to some of the newer pins.
I can sell those all day, so I don't mind them at all.
These championship editions?
Any golf game, really. But yeah, those sell just as easily as Golden Tee.
You know what's funny? Out of all the games that we've had here in the few days that we've been here, we've had hundreds of staff, because I mean there's a few thousand people that staff this event, right? And we've had hundreds of staff come and go, and they've been using the far side of the building over here, the food hall, for some training for some of their staff. And with a resounding lead, this game, people see this and they go, "Oh, championship golf!" And it's so cool. So there's actually, I think, Dan, you've had 2 offers to buy it already. So
$4,000 cash.
Right? Okay, so
no
continuing on.
So
I know what I have. Right. This is what Nitro Pinball has in stock right now, and they've got them out on the floor for us to play. Dan's just in the middle of fixing some coinage on a couple of them. Oh, they're done? Okay, cool. We're doing latest and greatest code. We're going to have everything set up with Stern Connect as well. But before we get there, so I'm going to rapid fire these, okay? We're going to go Jim Henson's Labyrinth, Uncanny X-Men, John Wick, what is this, the premium? Yeah. Another Pulp Fiction, Dungeons and Dragons, this is the Pro Edition, X-Men Pro, this is a great game, I love this game. Brand new, hot off the press. Sorry?
These all look like they're fresh out of the box, you're saying, right?
They are fresh out of the box. Most of them are brand new out of the box. Most of them, the boxes, Charlie, in some cases, are sitting over there. We took them out and put them in the trash. So yeah, King Kong.
Why would you take the pin out and put it in the trash? That's ridiculous.
Stranger Things Pro. We've got Jaws Pro Edition. Sorry, it's a little tight here. Jersey Jack Avatar. This is a cool game, but it's my least favorite theme of all time. This is the LE, yeah. Led Zeppelin Pinball Machine. What did I say? Pinball machine? It is a Led Zeppelin pinball machine.
Yep,
It's a premium. Yeah, yeah.
I'm looking
yeah,
right
yeah.
at it. It is indeed a pinball machine.
Yes, it is. Thank you. I've got a lot on my plate. I'm tired. Then Toy Story 4, John Wick Pro, the re-release of Metallica. This is the premium edition one. I'm not a fan of this art package. I like the original better. Star Wars Premium Edition with the Hyperloop. So cool. King Kong. This is the Pro.
That's a pro.
That's the Pro. And then premium Stranger Things. So that's pretty much what we're rocking for games here, minus a couple of the other pins that are still wrapped up. Charlie.
Yes,
you still
my
hear me?
friend. Yeah.
Oh, okay. We're running on Wi-Fi here up there, so on the router on top of the thing, so we don't
Yeah, you've
know
been
if
fine the whole
you've been
time.
disconnected. Oh,
No,
perfect.
you're good.
Josh, your router's amazing. So to
Yeah,
answer
let's
your
talk about
question,
this.
how we're going to operate this, this is an American Changer 6000 series AC 6000 change machine. So Josh and I went up to Northern Alberta, to Edmonton, to pick this up. One of our friends noticed this while, just out of happenstance, noticed this while we were looking for one to buy one for this event. And we went up there and we picked it up for like $2,000, I think it was. We actually sold it to Dan. He's going to take it off our hands when we're done because they need it for their pinball league. And so we've upgraded a couple of things in here. I put a new art package on the front. And then we upgraded the bill acceptors. In Canada, we don't have that cotton money that you guys have. We have plastic polymer bills. And we've got some relatively new ones as well that are vertical with famous figures coming out on them. And so these new bill acceptors are the newest ones from Pyramid. No, like Viola Davis. She's like our what's her name from the bus? Black History hero. Rosa Parks. She's like the Canadian Rosa Parks, essentially. I wouldn't equate her to that, but same kind of idea for the most part. So anyway, so we've got the new polymer bills, and these work brand new. PTI Pyramid was really gracious at getting these out to us as fast as humanly possible, making sure they were set up and ready to go. And then we've got a massive hopper in here with as many quarters and as many loonies as we could fit. And then on every single one of the games, let's see if I can find one quickly here. On every single one of the games, we've also matched that same artwork there. So someone's going to, get a loony like on the X-Men because the X-Men was already set up for loonies. So I just left it because it was working. And quarters here for Silkworm. So basically, you're going to put your 10, your 5, your 20 into that machine. It's going to spit out either loonies on the left if you put it on the left, or quarters on the right if you put it on the right. And then you're going to come hang out and play some games. That answers that question, Charlie?
Do you think one change machine is sufficient for 80 games?
Yeah. I think with the size of the hopper in there and the amount of traffic that we're kind of estimating, will be more than enough. If we've got to do float updates daily, we'll do it. Our home base here,
Do you and Josh have those belts you can walk around with and go boom, 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 and give somebody 4 quarters for a loony?
That was kind of our backup plan. Yeah.
Do you have
the
those
ones like
hoppers?
You press it. No. That was kind of our backup plan. If I couldn't get the change machine working in time, I was gonna just go in the carcass of the change machine, and people were gonna hand me bills through the hole, and I was gonna give them quarters. Anyway, moving on. Next thing, our trailer, our home base, provided to us by Nitro Pinball. He's had this wrap for a while. It looks like it's like you could sell tacos and an ice cream out of the side of it, but we're gonna be fixing games. So we'll take a quick look in there, I guess, just over the counter, so you can see what
this is where people bring all their redemption tickets and they get
no, we're not.
pencil erasers.
No,
If they get enough
gift
tickets,
for-
maybe they'll be blessed with a TPG.
right? Wouldn't you love that? So we've got
Yeah,
a
I
full
would.
rework station over here. You really want that TPG, don't you? We've got our security system, our PA system. We curated like a 36-hour or 26-hour Apple Music playlist of like 80s and 90s music. We've got tons of my parts and supplies here. We got a couch. We got some gaming consoles down there with a 50-inch TV. We got some mood lighting. We got some work lighting. What else here? Oh, this is cool. So this is an example. It's too bad this wasn't tomorrow. This is what the space would look like. So this is what these big 25-foot banners we're going to be putting up along all that truss that I showed you. And then each one of those 6 pillars is going to be wrapped with these big 4-foot by 16-foot banners with, Retro Oasis, Death Save Pinball, which is one of our pinball leagues, Nitro, and who's that? The Canadian Arcade?
Never
I'm
heard
not
of them.
familiar with that one. Yeah.
Who's that?
Sounds generic.
Must be, yeah. It must be like spam, like AI
Is that a
spam or
placeholder for
something.
something else later?
Yeah, maybe. But so this is we've kind of got these just out here so that the art crew can see where we're setting everything up. So we have to reprint it. But we've got a giant arrow hanging, a 3-foot by 3-foot arrow hanging down from the roof over top of where the change machine's going to go. So you're going to be able to see that. We got about 2,000. Initially, we've got 2,000 watts of blacklight cannons that we're going to be mounting up on the truss, along with the speakers.
Let me stop you right there. So that was a question that I wanted to ask you. You've got some very brilliant overhead fluorescent lights there. Can you turn those off in your area?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah. And we were able to, we don't want to turn them off right now because the guys are working. But we were able to work with the people at the Calgary Stampede to get exactly what we were looking for this space. We love it. They love it. Security loves it. Health and safety loves it. Because like I said, this whole area right over here where all our games are being stationed right now, that's queuing or overflow queuing for the concerts upstairs. So like right along here, we're going to put a row of 10 pinball machines. And then on the other side where Craig's working, we're going to put another row of 10 pinball machines. And then on the floor here, between all the different aisles and rows, this was Josh's idea. This was brilliant. Here, Josh, I'm going to let you hold the camera. Rather than present the idea, I might as well just... So I've gone and made these. These are going to be hanging from the ceiling, the big house rules signs that we're all accustomed to in the hobby. Okay. And then Josh's idea, which I really, really love, this all gets installed. That all gets installed tomorrow. Oh yeah, you look good, Josh. That looks good. This one's my fault. I screwed up on that. But these are 2.5 foot wide and 1 foot wide white dots. There's 200 of them in here, and I think there's 4, 5, 6 in here. We got some extras. And then these are all floor decals, okay?
Floor what now?
I'm like, what?
Decals, floor decals.
Oh, okay.
Is that better?
Yeah.
So they're all
That's
the
an extra
characters
stickers.
from his. Yeah, they're giant stickers. So we did all of the Pac-Man and Ms. Pac-Man characters. So we've got fruit, we've got ghosts, we've got giant ghosts. So all of the all the aisles between all of the games, we're going to do it as a giant Pac-Man maze. So yeah, that's the art.
Life size.
Yeah, that is. They're about 4 feet wide. Yeah, 3. I think I'm 6 feet tall. So hold on, wait. No, that doesn't. Oh, there we go.
5'11 3/4.
Yeah. Anyway, so that was Josh's idea. We fought long and hard for this one, and we made it happen. So we're pretty happy with that. Let me just put this back so she doesn't get ruined. And then so on the last day of setup, Josh and I, after we've got all the games in place, Josh and I are going to take some measuring tapes and laser lines, and we're going to lay out everything that we can on the floor with our expert arcade decal placement skill set. So yeah,
What placement?
Decal placement skill set.
Oh, okay.
So you had that.
So no, we thought of everything.
That
Sorry, go
rework
ahead.
station. The rework station. How many times do you think you're going to have to fix Tempest during the duration of Stampede?
We'd rather not think about that. I think
I'm
Here,
less
let's
worried
just get
about Tempest
situated.
and more worried about Chance's precious armor attack.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, that
Yeah,
thing's that
Cinematronics
thing's like
Vector.
Yeah, and Star
that thing's
Castle.
bulletproof. Keep in mind, it only had a few hundred plays on it, like 77 plays, I think, on the armor attack, and I think like 1,200
Well, now
on
that you've
the.
said it's bulletproof.
Bulletproof. Yeah,
Mhm.
famous last
Yeah.
words.
Well, no, hold on. I want to just very carefully point out the hard work of Adam and Al. Al Burnell and Adam McKay are two local collectors here in Calgary. Those guys have not only been on the spot when some of our guys needed parts, but needed repairs. Jeff Atwood as well. Shoot, like he's got some games in the mix here too, but those guys have been indispensable. We could not have done this without the support of the community. And I think, actually, you know what? On that note, something that's really, really cool is I'm not used to walking up to a friend of mine or a group of friends of mine or businesses that I'm acquainted with and going, hey, here's this absolutely bat crazy idea that, did you just beep that out? Oh, this batch crazy idea that I have, and I want to do this in real life. We have this opportunity, and people like Josh and Craig and Jeff and Dan and Steve at Retro Oasis and Cam and Wes, all of these guys have come together with their collections, their prides and joy, their businesses, their brands, and entrusted it to me and us to put on something like this for 1.4 million people. So we're pretty stoked and we're incredibly grateful. I think the one thing, the resounding thing that
1.4 million
noticed,
people and one change machine.
yeah. I think the one thing, let me just turn the mic back into the thing. The one thing that has been, I don't know, absolutely crazy is that throughout this entire process, hold on, let me go mic, MacBook. Okay. Can you hear Josh?
You can hear me okay?
Oh, now we can't hear them.
Yeah,
Oh,
Oh, we hear it now.
you're good.
I can hear Ken. I just can't hear Charlie.
Yeah, it's good.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
We were muted.
Yeah.
That's freaking. So anyway, so what I was saying.
I
is,
can
like,
play the same game you were playing.
Oh yeah, man, that's just mean. I've got to say, like, we are incredibly grateful that everyone's come together to do this, because this took not an army. This didn't just take a village. This took an army, including the Stampede, including my wife. Like, getting this crazy thing when the idea was like, hey, could you guys put it on an arcade? Everyone else said they either didn't want to do it or it wasn't what we were looking for. Can you guys do it? We're just a couple of, hicks from Alberta in
And we
the
want to
film industry.
probably acknowledge the electricians and the riggers and
Oh yeah,
stuff too that the venue provided.
the Stampede Association, the Greater Stampede organization, has been phenomenal supporting this with us to get us this far, helping us out with a number of things. Like, even just today, like the army of people that have come in to help us with truss and electrical and going up in the lifts and the art department. It's been phenomenal. So it's been really cool. And I think the one really weird thing about all of this is anytime we've ever had a challenge, or anytime we've ever had like, is this going to work out? It's not only worked out so far, but it's exceeded our expectations. Like, little silly things that you wouldn't think that matters in an event like this. The big change machine arrow. This is the most recent one I can think of. The big change machine arrow that I designed as part of the art kit. Somehow they had to offload that, because the Stampede is a massive thing. They had to offload that to a third-party printer, and my notes on printing it double-sided got lost in the fray. It accidentally got printed only on one side. But in that same moment, when we took it out of the box, we had all the lighting down so Josh could test to what it looks like. We were holding it up in the space, and you couldn't really see it because it had this black stroke around it to match the front of the change machine. So just by happenstance, hey, we got to reprint this.
I got a chance to change the artwork, so now we can actually see it. And it's just little things like that. Like
Works out in the end, yeah.
the couch from my office that you guys are used to seeing in the background of the podcast fit in that space with that, and fit that TV, and fit like everything. Just every single moment fell into place. And I'm going to guarantee you it's going to keep doing that until we turn that Tempest on and go live.
I would be less worried about the Tempest going out, or the armor attack, or the Star Castle, and be more worried about the change machine exploding.
No, she'll be fine. She'll be
Tell us
fine.
now.
Wrestling quarters.
Yeah, so okay, when we got that change machine a few months ago, it had barely any use on it, and I went through the entire thing, like literally component to component, all the both hoppers. I reworked everything. I even modified it so that it was like 2 change machines in one, and set the hazard light, the fail light, to run off both sides with some diodes and the whole nine. We got extra boards. We got extra mechs. Pyramid is on call if they need to send us out more. They can air freight them next day. So we're pretty excited for that.
So you went through it. So yeah, I'm even less confident.
Yeah. So I've got about 1.4 million questions, but I want to give Liam and Kay a chance to go, and anybody in the live chat that wants to ask a question about all this, all coming from a place of love, maybe some skepticism, but a place of love.
The reason we are where we are is because people say we couldn't do it, or people say it couldn't be done. So
I'm not saying it can't be done.
No, I just we don't know where the bar is, so we just throw it up as high as we can.
Well, we got a Wayne Sylvester channel member just gifted 5 channel memberships. These went to Arcade Freak, Chris W 2024, Kikayon, Timothy Smiths, and Nebo 77. As Marky Mark says, welcome to the club, everybody. After the live stream, I'll make a members only post with a link to the members only Discord to get into there, or you can just link your YouTube account to Discord and it should pop up on your server list. But thank you, Wayne, for doing that.
So I do have a question. I don't know how it works up there in the Great White North, but down here, if you do something like this, even if it is short term for just an event or whatever, if you do anything coin operated for any length of time, you have to have tax stamps. Is that something that you have to do
but in Canada, the taxes in Canada are much more reasonable than Texas, right?
Whoa. Nobody's talking about the government here, okay? We don't. Actually, the province of Alberta doesn't have tax stamps.
Okay. And so if for the state of Texas, tax stamps, and it's for calendar year, even if you're doing anything for just like a 3-day event, you have to have the tax stamp, and you have to do it for the entire year. And for certain counties, you'd have to have one for the county too. So you'd have to have that on top of the tax stamp for the state.
That doesn't sound. Say that again, please.
That doesn't sound like freedom to me.
Well, there's no income tax in Texas, so they got to pay for.
Yes, there is.
Or what was it they don't have in Texas?
That's Florida.
Florida, whatever.
Their gun laws.
That's great. That's my favorite part about Texas. Is
do you guys have to pay taxes on the coin drop?
Well, we have to pay taxes. So don't get me wrong.
We treat it like income, and we have a sales tax that's kind of included in that. So everybody who's a partner with this, that'll get a payout on their portions. They'll pay whatever.
We don't want to get into the nitty gritties, not only because we don't want to talk about it because it's none of y'all business, but it's also contractually obligated to not go too deep into it. But yes, as far as the taxes and the insurances and all that stuff, everything is on board. The Calgary Stampede is a massive, massive organization. We couldn't even talk to them unless we had given them certain assurances. So everything's above board.
Yeah, anytime I've worked a convention or whatever, and I've had my machines there, I had to have everything on free play, and I had to have all my coin mix physically blocked off so that coins could not be inserted. Having them on free play was not enough. They had to be physically blocked off so that you could not insert a coin even though you didn't have to. And I had the Texas State Comptroller walk through the arena and go through everywhere because they're checking everybody's tax IDs first of all. for all
Wow.
the vendors. But they saw my machines and they made sure that, you know, first of all, that they were on free play, that you could not put coins in. But if they had been coin operated, they would have checked for tax stamps. So, and they
So-
would have busted me if I didn't have that information. So if I had my machines on coin op and I didn't have tax stamps on them, they would have shut me down. They would have fined me $500 per machine
Per game?
per game.
What if you had like an MVS? Would that count as like 2, 4, or 6 games?
No, it would have been per machine that plugs in.
Wow. So there you guys have free play. Here we have freedom play, I guess. 'Cause we could just do that if we wanted.
The
to.
loophole in Texas is if you have a venue that you're paid to get in.
Ah,
It's like a free play thing then.
yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to have tax stamps on the machines. It's just you pay to get into the venue and everything's on free play. You don't have to buy tax stamps that way. That's the way a lot of venues do it here now, so they don't have to
I know,
do
like,
the re-up
Grinkers-
every year on tax stamps.
Grinkers Grand Palace, when they were there, they had the license for each machine, because I remember when the
The
COVID
little,
shutdown happened.
yeah.
They were actually trying to raise money from the community enclave, and
To
you could
pay
sponsor a game to like basically pay for the license for each game for that year. Even though they weren't operational, they still had to have the license paid for that year.
Yeah.
And you know, I think they were a few months into COVID and shut down at that point.
Hey, on that note, shout out to Steve Barbie. I don't know if he's watching this or he watches this or even cares or knows we exist. We were at Grinkfest 7, so the very last Grinkfest before COVID. And part of the idea behind this and part of the look and the feel that we were going for with this was based on that red ambience when you walked into Grinkers Grand Palace. We couldn't get the clearance for the red bulbs, so we got black lights instead. I don't know how that works. But that was kind of what we were going for originally, was we wanted to kind of emulate that feel of being on the floor at Grinkers, that visceral red light everywhere.
Here's a question for you. So you got a wire rack behind you with parts and stuff. Those bins look kind of small. So, you know, I imagine you probably got joysticks and buttons and whatnot in there.
Charlie, it's
AR2
a 10-day event. We're here for a good time, not a long time, okay?
AR2s, switching
Yeah.
power supplies.
A lot of that
You know
stuff's
what I
been
don't
rebuilt
see?
already. Yeah.
You know what I don't see? 2 dozen monitors ready to be swapped into cabinets.
Oh, yeah, you know what? I think a lot of people underestimate the capability of a CRT monitor, especially if it's been rebuilt. Excuse me. We've got tons of cap kits here. Most of these games have been fully rebuilt. Jeff, as we talked before, who we co-created that TPG, the White North Retro TPG. Jeff is an expert at CRTs. Adam as well, Al as well. We've looked at most of these games already. We've got our SimCore down there. We've got our box of CRT tool parts. If a game goes down, a game goes down. We're going to work on it the best we can, and we're going to get up and running the best we can. So we're not concerned. Nobody's ever done this before here in our market, and nobody's ever done this before for something like the Calgary Stampede that we know of in this area. And we're gonna shoot high and aim for the moon, and maybe we crash into Kansas, maybe we hit Mars. I don't know.
Do you guys
So
have
you've
to
got all
pay
those-
oh, go ahead.
You got all those signs saying house rules, don't put drinks on games, don't damage games, don't gamble. It's a big open space. You don't have a security door. How are you going to enforce this and make sure people don't put drinks on the games or damage the games?
Yeah,
Snipers.
I want to. Yeah, that's a great idea.
Lasers.
Lasers. You said lasers. He said snipers. I have a bat.
Snipers with lasers.
No, we actually have, because that was a concern, right? Like, especially when we were first talking to everybody about this. We're very lucky in that the Stampede knows and understands and respects where we're coming from. They know the space. They know what goes on in this space and how it's controlled. We have a security desk just kitty corner across from us. We have patrolling security in the food court area, and the actual security office for the Calgary Stampede grounds is right up that set of stairs. So, like, we're good as far as, belligerents. Yeah, maybe we'll have someone who's
Malky's
belligerent
on
who wants to do
horseback
that.
patrolling the rows of games.
Oh no,
We were actually going to make a bingo card that had like all the things that could possibly happen, like kid throws up on game.
Yeah.
What would be a good free spot? Someone wants a refund.
Even seeing
Yeah.
that bingo
No
card
refunds.
would give me anxiety.
Right? Because you don't want to know. But like what's the over under right now? So we were joking how many cam locks, coin door locks would I have to drill out before or after we go live? And I think it was 3. I think was stated was probably what
We've already done.
Oh, hold on, Craig. Did you just fire up that Donkey Kong Jr.'s working?
Nice.
Do you have keys for all the coin doors?
Yes, we do. So
Okay.
you can't really see it. Hold on, let's go up here.
We're showing everybody our secrets.
Oh, this is my emergency Velociraptor distraction kit. Jingles? No, not funny. So yeah, so most
I
of the
get it.
guys' games.
I ain't laughing, but I get it.
It's mean. So yeah, most of the guys' games are keyed the same. All of Nitro's are keyed different. But pretty much everybody else is all keyed the same for the most part from their own group and collective. So we've got a system with the keys to be able to gain access as need be. We got a system for coin counting. We've got a system for banking. We got a system for everything. So this is our coin change counter. So anyway, we've thought of it. And if we haven't, we'll fix it right away and solve for it. So
Here's a so how are you dividing up the proceeds? Do the people keep the money that goes into their games? Does it all go into one pot and then get distributed based on the number of games? Like, so if people bring in like bangers and those are making all the money, and other people are bringing in dogs that nobody's playing, how does the money get split up?
I don't want to get into that. We've got our collectors. They're all happy. They're all happy to be here. Everyone's getting a fair share, regardless of what their deal is. And we're going to leave it at that.
Do you have to pay for the electricity?
No. We're doing this in
There
conjunction
you
with
go.
the Calgary Stampede. So
There's the loophole.
yeah, that's a good loophole.
So
yeah,
all
we're doing,
these
like I said-
games,
Oh,
all
we got-
these games have crypto miners inside of them too, right?
We have 360 amps brought in.
Oh yeah, 360 amps.
Give or take. Yeah, a little bit more.
It's all 20 amp service everywhere. Then they split it down, and then they've got drop boxes for us everywhere. On my I had a map that had all of the. Josh did all the math on what games when I got the rendering done a couple of months ago when we kind of knew our final game count. Josh broke it down between all the pinball machines and the arcade machines of what a solid amount of support would be for power. So we basically just offloaded that to their lighting facilities people here who've been amazing for us. Drop boxes with breaker panels on them so we don't have to go game by game turning everything off. It's really been the perfect storm here for us. So yeah.
This is coming from a place of love.
Okay.
Do you expect this to be a profitable endeavor, or is that not the point?
No.
It's a mystery.
It's a mystery. So I have gone on record from day one. When we first had our first meeting with the Josh and I, with the other 11 people that are involved with this, I first went on record to say, like, I'm not taking a dime off of this. I don't want to make a dime off of this. Right now, Josh and I are waiting for a couple of TV shows in town to spool up into pre-production so that we can kick back into high gear with our regular day jobs. And in the meantime, honestly, we were bored. And so we just wanted to do something fun. We were sitting around the house basically working on projects and doing other things at our respective homes. And it was just like, hey, here's a cool opportunity to control the narrative, do something really cool with our friends, promote the pinball community locally, which we're going to have 3 large pinball tournaments as well. A single day event, a women's event on the Monday, and then a 2-day event on the last weekend of Stampede. And so we've opened those up with IFPA points and tons of prizes. In fact, the Canadian Arcades promotion or endeavor, what's the word I'm looking for? What the Canadian Arcade is doing for this is we're taking any of the funds that we were going to make out of the budget we had for this, and we're just putting that back into the pinball tournaments as prizes. That's cash.
Probably would have made a profit on this had you not decided to order hundreds of gigantic white circles to stick to the floor.
Came out of a separate budget.
Oh, that was a separate budget, Liam.
What are you gonna, yeah, those one-time use things? Are you gonna keep them and put them on your wall or something?
No, we're gonna probably scrape them off the floor and throw them in the trash when we're done.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Again, we've partnered with the Calgary Stampede on this. So a portion of some of these costs have been budget from the Calgary Stampede to do things like pageantry. So the art and stuff like that, some of the setup costs, like the electricity, our internet and whatnot, that's being provided by the Stampede. Really, at the end of the day, the Calgary Stampede's goal is the customer and the experience when you come to the Calgary Stampede. And that's what been their goal for over 100 years, is a damn good time. I know that's not their tagline or anything. And I know Charlie's going to have to beep that out, but it's a good time. And they don't really care about money. Like, we told them, like, hey, like, you guys are going to make some money on the back end of this. And you guys are going to make some money with, like, even just the tournament players coming in, because there's a small fee to get into the grounds for the 10 days of Stampede. But there's, a smaller,
it's like a trade simulator.
Yeah. And honestly, at the end of the day, we had a discussion with them very early on, and we said, like, you guys could make, we did some rough estimates, some large sums of money, and they were like, okay, we don't care about that. We just want to put on a cool show. And we're like, okay, we're down
it's
for
also
that.
about, like, sort of routing traffic too, because, like, they have the fairgrounds out there, and you're walking along midway rides and drink stands and food stands and stuff, and there's quite often pretty tight crowds out there, so they're really trying to, like, find ways to disperse people out a little bit, get some space in there. And if they can funnel people into some of the other buildings and venues and stuff around the grounds, they want to put cool things in those places to get them to go into those spaces.
Yeah.
So that was the hope with this.
And the AC down here is a nice, cool, 19 degrees?
I don't know what it's at right now.
We had them
that's
turn it
way
up.
below freezing. What are you talking about?
19 degrees Celsius.
Just wait until all the games are running.
I don't know what that means.
We did already explain that to them, and we told them about
Yeah.
power draw, and we told them about the heat that it's going to create, especially with the large number of people that are going to be in the spaces next to us. And they said, okay.
This actually used to be,
Yeah.
well, I think we mentioned
that.
curling rink. Yeah. So
Yeah. This whole area is plumbed for literally the world's largest curling arena, upstairs and downstairs. So
it seats like, what, 40 people?
Yeah.
Wayne wants to know if you're going to live stream on the Canadian Arcade channel at all during the event.
probably won't have time.
Yeah, I don't know. We've talked about it. We'd rather, honestly, at this point, give you guys, Charlie, give you the exclusive to do this while we had a little bit of downtime while we're waiting for the next steps to go ahead here. Because we still got a couple of days of work to do, but that's why you're only really getting us for an hour and change. But, we thought about it. We may or may not. I've been posting a lot of stuff on my personal socials, just because my personal socials and Josh's personal socials, those are followed by a lot of friends and family and coworkers in the greater Calgary area that we want to see come and enjoy this space with us, right? And share this kind of cool thing. Whereas the Canadian Arcade, yeah, we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna blast it out there. You can follow 8-Bit Roundup on Instagram. There's no content on it other than the first post.
Mm-hmm. Once we're rolling, we'll probably do little daily updates.
Yeah. And really, at the end of the day, my personal mantra, other than try and make my wife look good, my personal mantra is, I don't think we're ever going to get a chance to do this again. So let's make it as cool as we can. You're
not going to make this an annual tradition?
I mean, if they want us back, and if we have the cycles for this next year.
Yeah. If it
right.
Then next year we have some different ideas that we'll have a little more time.
Yeah, we actually have some other collector friends of ours locally that either didn't want to be a part of it initially because they were just a little, worried. They didn't see the what we could do with what we had in front of us. And they said, you know what, just not for me right now, or their timing wasn't right for them at that point in time. They've since come back to us and said, you know what, if you guys do this next year, we're in. So if we do this again next year, we're gonna swing for 4,000 square feet and another change machine to make Kay feel better.
I mean, you got twice the space, you need twice the machines, right? Makes sense.
That's what I said. Yeah. Well, like I said, all the pinball guys are operators as well. Half the guys that have the arcade games are operators as well. They take tokens or they take quarters. So, we all know what we're getting into here. Let's just throw a bunch of stuff at the wall and see what sticks.
That means you're going to need 8 Miss Pac-Mans.
Actually, that's a good point. Crap.
Josh's Chance's favorite game. Papa Sean 69 channel member with a $200 million Canadian super chat donation. Papa Sean 69 says, "Wish I could hit up the Stampede this year." I think Wayne was saying something similar, that he wishes he could be there.
We have a lot of, it's like a Canadian thing, and especially right now with all of the cross-border travel, a lot of Canadians don't want to go south of the border right now for whatever reason or another, and there's this big push with Tourism Canada, and like we get a lot of tourists from all over the world that come to this event, but there's this massive push for Canadian tourism and staying in the border and like elbows up and all that kind of stuff. And the Stampede and
Calgary's known for its beaches.
Well, no, but Calgary's known for the my wife just texted me. She's like, those decals are huge.
Did we freeze?
Did we freeze?
Your video froze.
We can
Our
still hear
video.
you.
Oh,
Oh,
Okay, hold on.
screenshot that.
screen. Oh no. Wait. There we go. So yeah, Vanessa just messaged me. She's like, those decals are huge. Well, I measured them out. We've got 9
Those
foot
what now?
aisles. Decals. We've got 9-foot aisles between all the games. So I'm like, I kind of figured, okay, well, if that's the math on an actual Ms. Pac maze, and then like, what's the yeah. So yeah, they ended up being 4-foot wide ghosts. But yeah, no, we where were we? We don't know if we're gonna do this a second time, but we're just kind of swinging for the fence to see how cool we can make it the first time, because why not?
Yeah, it's all dependent on if we're available.
Yeah.
Time next year, we'll do it.
Here, you get in the
I
frame.
think now they're frozen. I think we lost our. Oh no,
Oh no, yeah, we're back. Technical difficulties, Charlie?
You don't hear.
Yeah,
it.
your mouth is moving, but no
He
words.
keeps muting himself.
Hold on, I'm working on something.
He has no words, and he must scream.
Let him cook. Oh no.
Yeah, new phone background.
That's the come at me bro look. When I start a fight on Clav, that's the come at me bro.
Not that you would ever do anything like that.
It's not that he tries to start a fight. He just happens to put out an opinion, and then people
Look.
react.
Yeah, and that's fine by me. You can love me or hate me, but like at the end of the day.
Speaking of which, let's take a moment to say thank you to our sponsor. ArcadePartsRepair.com covers all of your cap kit needs. Sorry, I had to, Chance.
I have nothing against AP&R. I don't, except for please stop advertising in our threads when we know you exist. It is annoying.
I appreciate the promotion of the 8-bit roundup here.
Oh.
Overtime Arcade channel member Marquee Mark with a $200 million US membership or a super chat donation for the screenshot. Oh, and I got more. If you guys want to see more, I got more. I
sent him some beachwear pics the other day.
No, I got the first image you sent with the beard. I caught that one. Yeah.
This is going away.
Thank you, Mark. That's not Mark. It's not even Mark's. That's not even his name. He just thought it was a cool sounding screen name.
Nice.
Which I gotta agree.
Maybe he's just a real Mark for Marquise. I don't know. He marks out for Marquise.
Other than the roundup, Josh and Chance, what have you guys been up to?
Not much.
Not much. Just this.
Not much. Reading scripts for some upcoming shows.
Helldivers 2.
Yeah, lots of Helldivers too. We're actually gonna put a Super Earth flag on the back wall here over top of the couch, because why not? Yeah, really, it's this has been an unpaid full-time job for at least me for the better part of 3 months, I think. So, but again,
for the love of the game.
Well, they pay us in the industry just in case there's not a show coming up right away. They expect us to be off for 2, 4, 6, 8 months sometimes. So we're compensated for that when we're actually working. And sometimes we get lucky and it's just show after show after show. And I I know we're probably going to be working until January, or literally the week this ends or the day this ends. We're going to take this trailer back to my place. We're going to strip all my parts and all my additions and changes out of it. A couple of our games are going back to where they have to go, but then Josh and I are flipping gears and we're doing scripts and content for a couple of Netflix shows. So, yeah.
Right on. Any you can name?
No.
Cover up the logo on your sweatshirt.
Oh, that's Fargo season 5. That was. I'm surprised you aren't wearing the Fargo hoodie today. But yeah. So that's it.
Cool.
That's 8-Bit Roundup. Any more questions?
You're gonna have to do some kind of video tour, even if it's not live. Like get everything all set up and do a tour, release it on your channel, something in all of its glory with all the games on and everything.
We just some technical and logistical challenges because this is such a big event and there's so many thousands of vendors. Like Vanessa, my wife, she's in charge of all of the vendors in the big market hall, and just we're running the same kind of hours. She went home today for the day, but we're pretty much getting here at 6-7 o'clock in the morning and working to the end of the day. And I honestly, we had a couple of mix-ups early on and a couple of challenges because Rotary International had a big event here in Calgary. They're like global thing the day before. So that's kind of put everybody a day and a half just kind of off foot. And so we were hoping to have at least the art package today. We just couldn't get it done in time. We were so busy with some other stuff. So we'll do something. We'll show it off on 8-Bit Roundup on Instagram for sure. We'll show it off on the Canadian Arcade. We'll put it
maybe a before and after, right? Like here's what it looks before the doors open, all the games are working, and here's the bloodbath aftermath.
We have a little camera on top of our
trailer. Yeah. Josh set this up. I'm gonna give this away. Oh, this is our audio system here. Just a Mackie mixer and a couple Mac Minis, and then for the big TVs that we're putting in the space for all of our advertisements, for all of our vendors that are helping. And for all the pinball stuff. And Josh, you're putting how-to videos, I think, on the screen.
Slides or something.
We got some 65-inch TVs we're mounting in the space, but there you can see the boxes of them out there on the floor. But we've got some wireless video feed that we set up from our kit that we use on film sets. And then Josh set this cool camera up that we can remotely log into anywhere in the world. We got a couple of them as part of our security package. So we've hid some other cameras in other places so that we can get, an eagle-eyes view of the entire space as we're
you got air tags hidden in all the games to make sure they don't grow legs.
They don't get too far.
Yeah, we our master keys all have air tags on them. So
some of those games have wheels.
Not anymore, they don't.
You took them off like the Nintendo cabinets and stuff?
Oh, they're not coming out of there. And honestly, they'd have to get it up a flight of stairs in order to get it out. No one's leaving here with a game without us knowing. So there's 24-hour security around the clock here no matter what anyway, so we're good. Yeah.
Cool.
Craig actually put giant wheels on his gauntlet just so he could easily move it around his place because he was living in a smaller place and he just wanted to try and figure out where his arcade was going to fit. So we've got it sitting over there, and one of the tasks we have tonight, we're going to pull those wheels off and we're going to put some proper leg levelers back on her. So, yeah.
So I remember I do have at least one more question for you before I forget. What were the logistics of getting all the games there? Like you obviously weren't doing these one at a time with a pickup truck. How did you get all of these games into the building?
Josh, why don't you field that question?
Yeah, I mean, each of our partners kind of provided their own transportation. Most, we're renting. How big was that U-Haul?
What's the biggest U-Haul they make?
26 foot.
Like 26 foot.
26 foot.
26.
So we had 3 U-Hauls. We had a 26 foot. We had the standard smaller, everyone rents U-Haul, and then we had the one in between.
Mm-hmm.
And we all just we pooled together for the most part, and couple of loads on one, couple of loads on the other. Josh almost got crushed by a game coming out of the stairs, but he's here and survived and living. But we made it happen. I think it was like today the last 7 pins.
We did 2 loads with the big U-Haul, and then I know the smaller ones. I think they each did 2 loads.
Yeah.
So it was.
Well, three for Wes and Craig.
Yeah.
No Zaxxons, I noticed.
No,
Zaxxon.
what are we? No, not.
I
We're
could've
not
brought-
stupid,
I could've
Charlie.
brought
We're
mine.
idiots, but we're not stupid.
I thought that custom John's Games one for a second was a Zaxxon until you whipped around to the other side.
Oh, with the wood panel. You should have brought.
It's like brown or something.
No.
That's like a curse if we had that.
That was one thing we mentioned too, is that we didn't really bring many of our own games because we knew that we were probably going to be heading into this, set of film projects that we're going to be starting, and to have to work on that plus coordinate, everything else that needed to happen with the show. So really, we sort of stepped and looked at this as managerial sort of.
Any LCDs, any 61s, J-Rocks, none of that?
Well, we're priding ourselves that when you walk up to a game, it's going to look and feel like the original cabinet as best we can.
We've got a few big
except for the
hits
Berserk joystick.
Yeah, the Berserk joystick's wrong, but that's fine. It's still good. It's still playable. Craig loves Berserk, and he's phenomenally happy with that cabinet. We're really proud, him and I, of the work that we put into it. Some of the artwork's reproduction artwork in a lot of cases. We just wanted to spruce it up. Honestly, you know what? At the end of the day, the general public doesn't care. Most people in the world don't know that it's a 60-in-1. I'm not saying that all of our games are 60-in-1s, but what we wanted to do was make sure that there were no LCDs, that you could drop a real coin in and get your credit, and then you could at least have a fun, somewhat or mostly nostalgic experience with the controls. So, we pulled an old ratty 4-way joysticks off of an old Mario Brothers panel, and I brought my Mario Brothers panel from my restored game, and we put it in the one that's here, just so that it was the right set of sticks where possible. So, a little bit of compromise with the amount of time we had, and you know what? We look back at this, and it probably should have taken us like 5 to 6 months to do all this planning. We only got our contract signed 2 months ago. So we've pulled this thing together. We did some pre-planning before that, but we really only pulled this thing together in the last month and a half, 2 months.
Yeah.
So
you could have promised them 80 games and just shown up with a 60-in-1, a 19-in-1, and a Zaxxon.
That would have been great. Here's your horizontal Williams games in a 19-in-1.
Even better, just all Mandalorians.
That was, we don't have a single Mandalorian out there, thanks science. So that game sucks, man.
It's real bad.
Why did you pick that one?
Huh?
Why did you pick that one?
It was literally the first one. We had there's a Mandalorian on location as part of the Pinball Collective, and when I was thinking about what games to bring into the rendering, I'll bring this out again. When I was thinking about what games to bring into the rendering, when I made this a couple of months ago, I legitimately just thought, I'll grab the Mandalorian, and then as the first one, and when I did that, it started acting up. So I'm like, I can't bring any more assets. Well, it's a good thing the last thing I have to do is fill this with pinball machines. That's why none of my renderings have our art package in, because if I tried to load any more assets, the thing would crash. All of the arcade games on here are to scale from the widget marketplace or whatever it is on SketchUp, because most games are on there, which is really cool if you're trying to design the layout in your house. You can just load up free SketchUp and design whatever you want. Really,
and a lot of them are also linked from the CLOV database entry for the game.
Yeah, which is really cool. So, in fact, fun story. That's how you figured out you could fit.
I had to figure out how to get a game down my stairs because, at the surface, it didn't seem like it would fit around the corner or whatever. And then I found a way. I flipped the model upside down, and theoretically, the control panel sticks out. It can go over this ledge. And
this guy modeled in SketchUp his stairwell to the inch, right? All the way around the landing and all the way down the last little bit.
You use inches in Canada?
Yeah, we use both. Because we need to talk to Americans, so we have to learn your silly freedom units. So he literally took, what game was that? Sega?
It was Virtua Fighter.
Virtua Fighter, to make sure it would fit. And so if you go back to the old Canadian Arcade Archives, you'll find an episode of with Virtual Fighter where Josh gets a Virtual Fighter. And we literally gut the cabinet, take all the big heavy stuff out of it, because that thing's living with your house when you sell.
Yeah, even with everything stripped off of it, it's like
300,000 pounds. he put a hook in the middle of his stairway in the landing, and because he learned that he could do this in SketchUp by throwing the model down the virtual stairs to see what would fit, we took a ratchet strap and some like big lifting hooks and mounted it
Yeah, had a pulley.
upside down,
Yeah,
a pulley
like a 7-to-1
system,
pulley or whatever.
and shoved it down the stairs around the corner. You can see that in that old
Yeah,
Canadian.
we had to
arcade
hoist
video.
it up enough that we could get the control panel around this ledge. And
The
then we
wet
could-
wall, yeah.
We could turn it like the 180 degrees it needed to turn.
Yeah. The only reason
And
he's
it's
here
never
today,
coming back up.
No, it'll have to go
Or
through
if
a
it does,
window.
it's going to be in pieces.
Yeah. The only reason Josh is here today on this project to help me with this crazy endeavor is because I owe him one, or he owes me one, for helping him get that game downstairs.
I got the PGA Tour down there by myself.
Yeah, good point.
That one
Okay,
went-
never mind.
Went okay. It's a lot lighter when you strip everything.
Good stuff.
out of it.
Yeah. Cool. Any more
Cool.
questions?
I'm good.
Oop, we could do a follow up to this, like in a month when we
Oh yeah.
after what actually happened.
Josh will be in
Challenge.
jail.
All those
I'll
in
be dead.
first modem.
Yeah, force
Force
mortem.
mode, yeah.
Yeah, we can do something like that. We don't have to take up the whole episode though. It's not that important.
But yeah, I mean, if we've learned anything, then I'm sure we will. So
Don't bring a tempest.
Just the
I said it for
1,000-yard stairs of dealing with the general public.
You know what? We're
It turns out that some people think Miss Pac-Man's a jungle gym.
all
I
honesty,
can't
like
wait for the kids on the
on the handlebars.
on Paperboy.
Do
We-
people get drunk at the Stampede?
Yeah, this area is licensed. Are you kidding me?
You're gonna have to deal with that too.
I got security. We got cup holders and all the pinball machines. That's all you need. Just a
This thing ain't my loony. Boom.
We're not scared to
Ah.
kick people out.
generally people, especially Canadians, are good, honest, helpful people.
But we'll have
It's
a
the
few,
tourists from certain other countries that
like Nicaragua.
no, like I was going to say a country that doesn't exist anymore. Now you're shaming Nicaragua. They didn't do anything to you.
No, we
you're
didn't.
you're going to get us canceled now.
I'm gonna bring
All
a couple
people-
friends. We're gonna have a wrestling match right there in the middle.
You
of
should
the area.
come, dude. Get on a flight and come here. Flights to Canada are stupidly cheap right now because the whole south of the anyway. All we're saying is we're extremely confident, but we also know what to expect from our own experiences. All of us that are involved here. So we're all jokes aside, like we'll figure it
You're
out.
all carrying tasers. I got it.
Bats.
Taser bats.
Good stuff.
A 2-inch
Oh,
dowel
Marquis.
of hickory.
Marky Mark wants to know if you got pin gulps on all the pinball machines.
Well, when you're playing pinball, you got to be able to put your drink down somewhere. No, that is an interesting thing. So,
Do we have any in here? or-
Cameron, Laborde Tech Custom, so LTC Pinball on Etsy. Cameron is one of our operators here that has a bunch of games, and he has a penchant for 3D printing. So he's made these little cords wrapped around it. These little light boxes. That's what he made for my wife for her desk, and little
You plug one in. Is there a way
nitro
you can
pin.
plug
I
it
don't
in?
have any port. No, I haven't figured that out in the trailer yet. And then got spares of the can't see that from there. Of his pinball cup holders.
Yeah.
Yeah, cup holders for the food and drink that you're not allowed to have in the games.
Yeah, well,
Are you
These things
guys
happen.
selling anything like t-shirts, merch, nothing? No.
It's
Drugs.
fun.
just fun. Fun and drugs. No, man, like we just want you to come, put some money in the games, have a good nostalgic time, share it with your friends. That's it,
And
man.
then get out.
And then get out.
So the-
11 o'clock comes, the door's over there. The lights go on, you get out. I got my jacket on, you put your jacket on, and you get out of my house.
Billy Bob wants to know, what are you going to do if somebody else's game gets damaged?
What do you mean somebody else's game? We're
Like
only
the
ones
people
that
who
can steal.
contributed games.
Oh, we know. We're gonna
You're
take
not
care of them.
liable, right? You're not liable.
Oh, no, we're gonna take care of them. This is a community here. We look after each other here. We'll figure it out.
You got a bunch of
I got a-
extra pin glasses.
We got nitro.
yeah, Nitro's just actually up the street. so-
Yeah, literally, they're
Oh, good.
like 5-minute drive up the
Yeah,
road
your
is
shop
Dan's
is just a
shop.
few minutes away.
So
So-
somebody goes Hulk. Somebody goes Hulk on the glass.
You know what? We've been
been-
involved with Pinbar for like
Pinbar,
7 years.
Yeah, we've never had
Not a single broken glass. Not once.
Wow.
And we've had rowdy, and that's the thing. Pinbar now prides itself as doing rock shows all the time and punk rock shows, and like they did Sled Island, which is like a big music festival in Calgary, where like all the local bars in an area of the city have like all these independent rock groups and music groups and all, folk and all that stuff. And not a single broken glass. Like, I mean, knock on workbench, but I think we're pretty good. It's really operating and having games on location, as much as Liam hates this idea, which is totally fair and respectable. It's not that hard.
And we've got a lot of like our operators are going to be here volunteering when we are operational. So there'll be lots of eyeballs on the games. We've already gone through it with the group, and we're all looking out for each other's games. So we're taking like a zero tolerance approach to any tomfoolery or roughhousing or whatever in here. And someone's doing something on a line, and they're out of here right away. So
not me, however. I'm not going to be teching games. I'm going to be sleeping on that couch for the first time in 3 months.
I was going to ask you, are you guys going to be there the whole time, the duration that it's open? And then
as much
if
as we
you're,
can be.
if you, because like, if it closes at 11, best case scenario, you're walking away at 11:30, right?
Yeah.
And
so
how far away do you live from the event? / traffic's going to be insane because of the Stampede.
So my as we pointed out, my wife works. Their office is on the grounds here, just next to the Saddle Dome where the Calgary Flames play. That's where the Stampede grounds are. And so like she's in here every single day, anyway at like 7, 8 a.m. in the morning, and I stay till 7, 8, 9, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night if I have to. So like I think we got out of here at 10 o'clock last night.
It was 10 o'clock last night.
Yeah, and then I think every night we've been here, we've been 8 a.m. till 10 p.m. and we're just gonna keep going. Stampede's only 10 days long,
and it's a big party, really. Like I mean, we're gonna have
You'll be
lots of
sleeping on that
here.
couch.
We're gonna have lots of coverage here, and we need a break from the arcade. You can go for a walk out on the fairgrounds and get some mini donuts or some deep fried butter or whatever.
Just prior to
Scorpion
COVID,
pizza.
Scorpion Pizza. Just prior to COVID, I worked as a marketing specialist for a large automotive group here in Calgary. And one of the dealerships that we had under the group was synonymous with the Calgary Stampede. They sponsor one of the chuck wagon tarps every single year, because that's another big thing. The grandstand show and the chuck wagon races and the rodeo is huge here. Like, I've got some family heritage. My uncle actually won. Lee Laskowski actually won his event at the Calgary Stampede. I can't remember if it was steer wrestling or calf roping, but we've got some family that have been involved here. And anyway, so Shaw GMC, I used to be the marketing specialist for the group, and during Stampede, we're waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Myself and the other marketing guys, we were waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning. We were going to one of the dealerships, and we were putting on the Stampede picnic or pancake breakfast, because that's another big thing we do here during Stampede is businesses all over the city put on pancake breakfasts, and there's a website and an app where you can go find your favorite one, and you get free pancakes and sausages and maple syrup and all that fun stuff. And then, we would do the pancake breakfast in the morning. That would take us to noon. I would jump on in the truck with the guys from Shaw, the GM from Shaw. We'd come down to the grounds. We'd, swoon all the VIPs that Shaw would do back in the infield at the rodeo. And we'd, drink beers with them, sit and watch the rodeo and the chucks, and just kind of guide them and, show them a good time with the money and the things that they've spent and supported Shaw. So it's a big party for all these corporate guys. It's a big deal. We would party and hang out and do the thing basically until midnight, 1 o'clock. I'd turn around, I'd go home, I get 3-4 hours of sleep, go back at it. I mean, it's only 10 days. Like, I mean,
we'll keep going as much as we can.
I've got enough energy to like ignite a nuclear reactor. I don't think it's a problem for me. I'm
Got a lot of energy drinks.
not really.
Again, drugs.
What do we? Vanessa.
What?
This is her staff. I got these for her this
Those
morning.
brown monsters. Is that like
They're
coffee flavored?
Yeah, you have these in the States.
He just does a couple Four Locos in the morning and he's good to go.
No,
We
no,
get to
no.
drink
I don't
our-
want to
We
die.
have to drink our Monster Energy drink so we grow big and strong and punch holes in drywall.
Yeah.
Hey, the only thing that got me home from that trip to Ohio was Celsius and prayers. It's the only thing that worked.
Well,
And you know it's funny because like we get Celsius at work because we all drink it.
I was
On
the
the can,
engineering of your
it's-
car, but okay.
on the can it says do not exceed more than 2 servings per day on the
You
can.
exceeded 2
I wonder if. Oh,
I
yeah.
exceeded 2
These definitely
servings.
say 1 can.
That's the only thing
Monster-
here in the States that we know of Celsius. That's the only Celsius we have in the States.
Exactly.
Monster
They
Energy is-
named their metric system after our energy drink.
Like
Oh,
no heart conditions, no pregnancy.
It literally says that this is like you
Caffeine
should only
sensitivity.
drink one of these, 1 can maximum daily. I exceed that every time I open because I always get 2 of these at a time.
And then in
Always.
parentheses under that it says unless you're a wuss.
Yeah, you exactly. You should see how many empty cans of this I've pulled out of my car when I like clean the back of my Ford Focus at times.
I
It's
could
not
definitely
pretty.
tell you that finishing up some projects in grad school, I probably drank almost a dozen of those in like a night.
Yeah, right. You got to do what you got to do, Charlie. Don't energy drink shame us, man.
I
Don't
I'm
be
actually
a
not.
square.
I'm just saying.
I had a 5-hour.
Do you have a
energy
fridge in
day.
the trailer?
Oh yeah, I pulled my mini fridge so that where I normally store my beer, I pulled my mini fridge out and we put it in here just so I could have some snacks and stuff. So, and we got some gaming consoles and stuff on the 50-inch back there. So, yeah, we're getting
Back
out.
there with the casting
stuff.
couch.
Yeah, there's just the cast. There's this. He calls it that too.
Yeah.
There's a
And there's
camera
a
over there
subway.
too.
There's a subway 5 feet from us, so I'm good. Oh,
Right on.
any other
Get you
questions?
Good
that
luck,
scorpion
guys.
stub.
Well, thank you.
Wish you the
We
best.
should let you guys finish off your show.
Yeah, we're gonna go back
Yeah.
to work.
All right, get out of here.
Cool. All right. Well, guys, thanks for letting us take you on a tour. We'll give you some post-mortem afterwards. And if you are here in the Calgary area, you're thinking of coming to the Calgary area for July 3rd to the 13th, we're here downstairs at the Big Lower 4 on Stampede grounds. And our pinball tournaments are also still open for business. You can find more information of that on Facebook. Let's just look up Death Safe Pinball or the Women's Pinball League. Actually, I think the women's one is full now.
You guys
But
are
if you-
signing autographs for free, or it's like $15 a person?
I would have to pay them if they want my autograph.
Yeah, we'd have to.
If
pay
they
the,
show
like,
up with
dry
Canadian
clean
Arcade
whatever
merch,
we
you
ruin.
won't sign it?
We ran into somebody the other day who said that they we were at an arcade thing and they were like, "Oh, we watch your channel," and I was like, "I'm so sorry. Like due to popular demand, we no longer give refunds for your time." So, I mean, if you guys want Josh's autograph, he's signing babies and
There you
know,
go.
bald heads. So Yeah.
Nice.
here's a Sharpie. There you go. Get out of here.
Sign Josh's forehead.
Signing
Or
babies and
Chance's
kissing
forehead.
autographs.
I would say what else I'd sign, but this is a
This is a
Family.
family show. Okay. Anyway,
All right, guys.
we're gonna go, guys. Thank you very
Beat
much. And I don't need anything. I haven't picked up anything, and
No videos
I'm-
coming
I'm-
soon either.
You
I'm-
did build the X-Men.
I did build the X-Men. The X-Men's done. We saw that earlier. The X-Men's done. So thank everyone for their help. You guys know who you are. I'm just not right frame of mind right now to remember everybody, but Golden Age Arcade as well. That they've Ken helped us out with this project too. I don't want to forget that.
Great harnesses.
Ken's been awesome. So
Good.
anyway, guys,
Godspeed.
And BitKit.
BitKit. Oh, Aaron. Oh, yeah. Okay, we could be here for days. We're gonna forget. Anyway, thank you, Aaron. But
Good luck.
thank you guys. We'll see you guys later. And if we survive, we'll tell you all about it on the other side.
All right. Fingers crossed. Good luck.
Bye.
See ya.
Like how they
All
said
right.
first hour, but it was the first hour 45.
That guy can talk, huh? All right. Okay, what's been going on? How's everything at Prime Arcade? What you've been picking up? What you've been working on? Give the people what they want to hear.
Yeah, for anyone who is tuned in for the audio version of this podcast, the first hour 45 was absolutely worthless to you, especially for the tour. That meant nothing to you. It's like, look at all these machines. You can't. I have nothing to share. It's been slow all around as far as updates go. Most of my videos on TikTok have just been on this days. I think I did like a Miss Pac restoration. I think I posted that. I don't know that I've really posted anything else. It's not that I haven't been doing any work. I have. Mostly, I've just been doing a lot of my contract work. So I don't do any videos of that stuff. It's just my weekly maintenance at my locations. I've been doing a lot of that stuff. I've left town a couple times to go visit my girlfriend. I obviously don't film that. I mean, I guess I could if she wanted to.
It's a
You know,
different channel.
yeah, that's. I need her permission for that, but there's more work to be done. Obviously, I've got plenty of pins that I'm halfway through working on, but I'm waiting on parts. So I have those videos half filmed. You know, where I've got most of a diagnosis done, but my motor dome, I'm waiting on some ROM chips to come in. They're coming from Canada, so I ordered them like 15 days ago, and they just passed through customs. They're in Chicago right now. Still waiting on those. I started working on one of the Ravens, and that was very upsetting because I have two Ravens, and between the two, I got one
Best
of the
game ever.
yeah. Well, I got it playable. I got one of the I Frankensteined the two MPUs together to get one of them to work, and I got a playable Raven out of it, and started going through everything. I had all my targets working, and then I just started doing preventative maintenance on the stuff in the back box. I had recapped my auxiliary power board, and then I was doing preventative maintenance on the MPU, just reflowing some of the solder on like the daughter board. And I don't know what I did, but I killed it. There's a small daughter board on the MPU, and part of the preventative maintenance that you need to do is remove it and reflow some of the solder on the bottom of it, because there's a chip that's kind of offset of it, and you need to take the daughter board off and do the reflowing underneath of it. And whenever I did that, there's a lot of trace damage that had been repaired previously, and it wasn't repaired very well. And so I touched up a lot of that, and now it won't boot again. And so I've taken it back off, and I've checked everything. I've gone pin to pin. I can't find any broken traces. I don't see anything wrong with this thing. I've got the other MPU as a basis for comparison, and there's no reason why it shouldn't work. It just doesn't. So I don't know if maybe when plugging it in, there had been a broken trace or a bridge trace somewhere and ended up killing one of the components, but I cannot figure out which one it was. And I spent a couple days on it, and I got tired of dealing with it, so I ended up just getting a replacement MPU, which I didn't want to spend that money, but time is money, and I not a rotten dog, but because Rotten Dog doesn't make a system A to B, but the equivalent of whatever company that was. But yeah, it was a brand new replacement equivalent. I got that ordered and sent my way. Cost about $400, but I don't want to spend any more time on that thing. So yeah, I just got a replacement hidden that way. So that's another half video shot and another pin halfway done. So
Marky Mark wants to know what's that Slayer inspired shirt you're wearing.
So it says Slider, and it's got KK Slider from Animal Crossing.
There you go.
So that's the Slayer inspired shirt there.
Good intersection of Animal Crossing fans and Slayer fans.
Yeah, there's probably not a whole lot of those, but I am one. And then I did I got a couple things off my repair queue. I did a video on the Pac-Man Cabaret. I did take that off my repair queue, and I did film that. but I didn't get a whole lot of videos put up recently. And I do need to fix that. I haven't made a lot of content lately, but I do need to get on the ball there and get some stuff put out there. So hopefully
That's
I can do that soon.
Cool.
But,
yeah, looking forward to it. Liam, what about you? I know you got a new cab the other day. Yeah, really exciting.
Yeah, so that is here, not for long, but Charlie did drop off that termite bubbles, which I stripped for whatever meager components it contained that weren't destroyed. And I'm using the other parts that came with it to advance my bubbles project, which is now powering on, and is missing.
Looks just like this.
Yeah, yours is nicer. Yours is much nicer. But it is working as of today. I changed over that Robotron harness to function as a bubbles harness, and it's all wired up. I have to redo the control panel, but for that I need a plate. Don't have a plate, so that is the sticking point. Haven't made a ton of progress on Star Rider. There's been some good news and some bad news with that. One piece of bad news: almost every single chip on the NPU turned out to be bad. It was just that corroded. I'm talking, I've taken every single chip out of that board and individually tested it. About 4 or 5 were good. Everything else was bad, which is insane.
Is that hardware like any other board, or is it unique to Star Rider?
No, it's unique to Star Rider. Every single board in Star Rider is unique to Star Rider. Even the power supply and the power brick are unique to Star Rider. It's ridiculous. So I'm waiting on some chips to see if I can maybe revive that board. But speaking of ridiculous and unique to Star Rider, here's a piece of good news. I was able to source an original Star Rider Laserdisc player, and a working one, at least at the point that it was shipped. That's the good news. The bad news is FedEx destroyed it. So it arrived here, and the box had been clearly kicked and punched and thrown around. And when I plugged the thing in, it basically exploded. And when I looked inside, I found that some of the components were shattered. So clearly they did a whole number on it. That wasn't great. But there was a little bit of consolation prize because there was something interesting about this player. It was not the PR8210A that Star Rider is known to have. That's almost impossible to track down. It was a PR8210R. That's the same type of player that's in Mach 3. It's a much more common player. The difference is inside this player was a sort of never before seen Williams-made adapter PCB fitted to replace one of the interface PCBs inside of the player. So it is my hope that if I track down another 8210R, swapping that PCB will instantly convert a 8210R to work with Star Rider. So,
are there any other mods inside of it that you could see, or just that?
Not that I could tell. It really seems that Williams engineered this PCB to plug into the existing connectors inside the player. So I'm kind of excited about that, and my hope is to reproduce that PCB as well, which is really cool. And speaking of reproductions, I've also been working on a reproduction for the Williams Star Rider PIA PCB, which is the piece that talks to the Laserdisc player. So head deep in Star Rider stuff, but not a lot of progress to show for it yet. Another update: the Star Trek that we picked up is in the arcade. It works. I've gotten that mostly put back together. It has some boot problems. It's probably just connectors because there's a lot of them in Star Trek, but it works. And I've got a new old stock CPU for it that I'll swap over at some point when I decide that it's worth my time to do it. But I'm glad that I have found it. And the last thing is iRobot is broken right now, which is painting me greatly. It's the monitor, the chassis is something is wrong with it. I don't think it's the flyback because it'll power up and show a good image, but it craps out after a few minutes.
Is it going into shutdown?
Yeah, it goes into shutdown, but it's not the power supply. It's not the high voltage regulation system. If I isolate it and put a light bulb on it, it'll go indefinitely. So something else is triggering a shutdown, and I don't know what.
Cold solder joint somewhere, maybe?
I don't know. I've reflowed the thing. I've recapped it. I've rebuilt it. I have no idea what's wrong with it. I'm hoping that I'll be able to figure it out. But if anyone has a parts disco chassis, let me know. I think that's it for pickups and projects. As for parts, I'm looking for a variety of stuff. Bubbles, control panel plate, definitely the number one thing. Control panel spacer for bubbles buttons, the 2 blue buttons that Bubble uses. Qbert harness would be helpful because that'll be the next project probably that I'm working on after the bubbles and the Star Rider. And low priority, looking for some Defender stuff also because I've got the Joust Fender, and I think it should be brought back to being a Defender again.
Right on. Yep. Well, and now that Chance is gone, we got a monster $2 billion super chat donation from a relatively new channel member, Old School EM, saying you guys rock. So that's awesome. Thank you so much for that support.
Yeah, now we don't have to split it with him.
That's right. As for me, since the last episode, the last podcast episode, I teased a little warehouse raid that I had cooking, sort of a raid in name only. The raid happened. I wasn't able to participate. I was only able to share in the games that came out of it. So that was done by my buddy who goes by Nintendork on Twitter. And he got a bunch of stuff, and I got a nice Survivor Moon Patrol and a Berserk that was converted to a Sega Champion Baseball that actually powered up. I'm still recovering from that massive trade that I did going into last weekend. That was 2 days, 5 states, 3 other YouTubers, including Liam, including Arcade Jason and Troy from Troy's Restorations. Troy was in the live chat earlier this evening. I got rid of my Sly Spy. I got rid of my Carnival, NBA Jam, Irish Kangaroo, my spare Robotron cabinet that had been converted to a perfect billiard game. That went to Troy's Restorations, and he actually already did a video. He's starting to work on that. He's restoring that back into a Robotron. And the Termite Bubbles cabinet went to Liam, and to Arcade Jason, he got the Sonic Asteroids, the Spanish asteroids that I picked up in the West Virginia warehouse raid last year. The games that I got out of this deal were a House of the Dead that I immediately traded for a Neo Geo Big Red 4-slot, which is right over there. I was working on it. That's my video that's coming out. I don't know. I guess I got to edit it tonight before I go to bed to get it out tomorrow. It's already late. Or maybe I'll release it on Tuesday. I don't know. I got so much going on. Work's been crushing me. I was traveling this week, and I've been working late every week, and I worked all day yesterday and today, like work, day job work. So I got the Big Red Neo Geo. I got an NFL Blitz, like a complete project, like 90% done. That went to Nintendork, so he's going to finish that up and sell it. I think he's got a buyer already. I got a empty Midway cabinet, like a Mortal Kombat style Midway cabinet that has really nice reproduction Tattoo Assassins artwork package installed. I think that was a joint effort between Mike from Mike's Amateur Arcade Monitor Repair and XL Arcade. That's going to a friend of a friend. I got a Mario Brothers project wide body. I got a complete working Mappy project. I got a Atari System 1 cabinet that I'm going to turn into a Marble Madness. Excuse me. I got a complete Defender project and a Stargate. So really excited about all of that. I still have more games to get rid of. My Vanguard is still for sale, working game, if anyone's interested in that. I think I'm going to sell my spare now, older Defender, converted Defender to channel member Matt. I got other stuff. I'm probably going to sell my Mortal Kombat 2 relatively soon. There's a couple others I gotta move on from out in the garage. Game room updates. Brought the bubbles and the Red Baron and the Neo Geo down here. You can see the bubbles right here. Red Baron's a little bit farther where the Irish Kangaroo used to be. The NBA, Big Red is where the NBA Jam used to be. What else? Oh, I bought another game. So I bought a game on Friday. I was down in Louisville. Dillweed Taylor, channel member, picked it up for me. And when I was in New York for work this week, and on the way back, I stopped at Jeff Kinder's house in New Jersey, picked up a cabinet for Dillweed that he had sold to Dillweed. I think next weekend, Dillweed and I are going to meet up halfway. We might actually go to Pastimes Arcade. I'll give him his game. He's going to give me the game he bought for me. I think I'm also going to be giving him that Spare Defender project for Matt. He's also giving me a game that he sold to Jeff Kinder. So lots of trading going on. Been working on the Outrun mini restoration, but haven't really touched it this week because of work's been going on. Yeah, I still need to sell or trade some games. In terms of what's coming up, the video this weekend is about the Neo Geo. I'm working on this J-Rock Multi-Williams build for my buddy Mark's Arcade, Back to the Future, or Back to the Media in Winchester, Virginia. That's an empty Joust cabinet that I got the same time I got my Jungle King cabinet. And what I need are a working Mario Brothers PCB and Mario Brothers joysticks, although there's repros available. I'm looking for a Berserk bat top joystick, an original, if there's one out there. Otherwise, I have a plan that I've been working on how to make one that I think will work. Still looking for an Enigma 2 PCB. Those aren't very common. I need a 19-inch black and white raster monitor for my Space Invaders. I'm looking for some MVS carts. If anyone has some for cheap that they don't want, or doubles or something, I got plenty of stuff I can trade too. If anyone out there has an undamaged Outrun Mini, the Cabaret version of Outrun, the dashboard, the little plastic shell, I could use that. Mine is broken. I'm going to attempt doing a plastic repair. I've never really done anything like that before, and it's really, really thin. Most of the people I've seen that do plastic repair, they tend to use like PVC pipe. They cut it and flatten it out and use it. But this is really thin plastic. There is a reproduction out there, but it's like $450 to have it shipped from Europe. So I don't know. So if you've got one out there, I could use it. And also looking for a Marble Madness kit, at least a control panel and the cart, I think they call it, like the daughter card for the System 1 setup. But yeah, that's what's going on in my world. Oh, Sean just showed up. Yep, you're late. We did do a little fake ad, but I did tease him about the arcade parts and repair brouhaha. But yeah, you'll have to go back and watch the beginning of the episode, Sean, to catch all of that. What is ABS slurry? I'll have to check that out, Mark. And Billy Bob says, are Mario Brothers joysticks the same as versus joysticks with the 2-way plate? Yes. Mike's Arcade does sell reproduction, so if I can't find originals, that's what I'll go with. But Mark, we'll talk about that plastic fix. But yeah, what else? Anything else you guys want to talk about before we call it an episode?
No, I mean, I ordered some Taco Bell like 45 minutes ago for delivery, and it still ain't here. I mean, it says it's being delivered, but from what I can tell, like, it says it's heading to you, but like the car's still at Taco Bell. Like, is it just sitting in the car? Like, what's going on here, DoorDash?
They're eating your Taco Bell.
That's messed up, man. Just sitting in the parking lot.
Old School EMs asked, does Zaxxon have a bat top joystick? No, Zaxxon had a flight stick.
Also, it's terrible.
Yeah. Cool. All right, guys. I think we're gonna call that an episode. I got work early tomorrow. I got stuff I got to do tonight. Thank you all for watching. Thank you in particular to Wayne for gifting the channel memberships. And we got super chat donations from Papa Sean 69, Marquee Mark, and a huge one from Old School EMs. Thank you all so very much. Thank you, Kay and Liam, for joining us, and Josh and Chance earlier on. Guys, I think we're going to call it a wrap here. This has been episode 29 of the Coin Jam podcast, and we will see you all next month.